Okay, so welcome to the chart of the day, and this is for the 8th and 9th of October 2017. And this also includes a little bit of the information that has been occurring for us on this full moon that's just taken place. And I'm pretty excited to be sharing this. I just want to go over to my YouTube quickly and just check in the chat if anybody is live watching this video. If you can let me know if you can hear me okay. Hear me okay, I think you can. So this is where the chart is today. Okay, this is where we are, and let me get my bearings straight. Okay, so we have the sun in the constellation Libra. Okay, and the Libra energy is all about our ability to find equilibrium. Okay, it's where we are learning through extremes what are healthy for us in relationships, and it can be through human beings, it can be through how we it's about how we establish relationships with other people that are fair for us. How do we validate our own needs? And it doesn't necessarily have to be human beings. It can be any thing that you have a relationship to, right? You might find that during this period of time, your relationship to certain things like drinking coffee or tea, or just simple things like that, they also are considered. Like understanding what's the need, what's the purpose, why is this relationship formed, and how does it provide you with nourishment, as an example. So Libra is all about our ability to find equilibrium, to find balance. Now, a part of this process with Libra, because it operates through extremes, is re-establishment of relationships or potential relationships. In other words, there is always potential relationships that are available, and it's our ability to be open to them through allowing us to see the diversity in different ways that relationships can work. So how is everything interrelated to everything? And so through this process, we're able to see that maybe there are limitations within our relationships that are not providing us with our needs being filled or met. And so this is a time where we can reevaluate these things, okay? Now, what I find interesting about this, this full moon that just recently happened was, of course, Pluto, as you see over there in the chart. He's gone direct, and Pluto is squaring the sun. That's a direct square, and of course Pluto hasn't really been making a square technically to Uranus for some time, but it's still within that 10-degree orb, so there's a slight activation there. Now Pluto direct literally occurred at the exact time that both Mars and Venus, okay, formed a new phase relationship to each other. Now in evolutionary astrology, when two planets are interacting with another, okay, there is a phasal relationship that they have within each other. And this phasal relationship allows us to distinguish and understand what type of flavor, what type of essence is occurring. Now, when we have been, over the last like 6 months or 7 months, really been experiencing this Mars-Venus energy, they've been in these balsamic phase relationships to each other. Okay, it's been in a balsamic phase. And balsamic phase is all about completion. It's all about the cycle in which things are coming to the end. We are extracting the essence out of the experience, and it's like a hermit type of energy where we go deep within ourselves and we culminate, we experience, we ultimately surrender to. And this Mars and Venus has been in this balsamic phase, like I said, for quite some time, at least 6 months. And what I find interesting about that is that as this new phase relationship occurred, in other words, that when these two planets formed a conjunction, which they are now in, right, and then Venus passed Aries, because now you can see that here's Mars at 21 degrees and there's Venus at 22 degrees, you can now see that there is a new phase relationship that's occurred, with Venus now ahead of Mars. And this is an opportunity for us to basically begin to see that there's a new cycle of evolution regarding the way that we inwardly and outwardly relate to ourselves. Now, this would have occurred in each of our charts. So wherever you have this Mars-Venus in your natal chart, I highly suggest that you look into the meaning of that process, because that's where a new direction is going to be occurring for you. That is where a new cycle of evolutionary growth regarding your relationship to yourself and other people is going to materialize. Now that's the first thing. The second thing is that Pluto goes direct as this happens, and it's trining it. And what we have with this full moon that took place, because remember it was in Aries when it took place, right? This whole entire cycle of the deepest unconscious patterning and layering literally was supported through this process of metamorphosis. So right up until this point in time, it's just felt incredibly overwhelming and chaotic. Now we're experiencing this new opportunity in which a whole new cycle is occurring for us relative to Pluto's transit through Capricorn, which is in a new emotional relationship to ourselves. And it's very powerful. It's very, very powerful, because it means that we can get deeper into this evolutionary journey of the soul for each of us. So wherever you've got this Mars-Venus in your chart, wherever it means, if it's in the 4th house, it correlates to a new evolutionary cycle regarding the way that you emotionally relate to yourself. If it's in the 3rd house, it's a new evolutionary cycle regarding to how you relate to your intellect, how you gather information, how you communicate. When it's in the 2nd house, this correlates to a new relationship to yourself regarding values and abundance and resources and how you feel about certain things that are like close to you, and probably dealing with a lot of psychological states of fear regarding scarcity, as an example. With it being in the 1st house of your astrology chart, you would have a cycle of an even new cycle of beginning. In other words, this is like emphasized new cycles, new growth patterns, new behaviors, ways of being. You know, when you have Mars and Venus in this new phase relationship occur in your 5th house, this is all about your creative pursuits. Like, what do you find that validates your inner reality? How do you find purpose? What is your sense of creativity and joy in this lifetime? With it being in the 6th house, you would need to come into this alignment regarding what is very, very specific for you. Like, what is your health routine like? What is your habits like? What are your cycles of rest and restore like? And then how you're wanting to improve your life. If you have it in the 7th house, of course, this will be around your relationship to other people, new relationships. When it's in the 8th house, like it was for me, it was coming into a deeper alignment with the way in which I understand my own resources and how I share the resources and how I understand what my desires are. With it being in the 9th house, with Mars and Venus new phase for everybody that has it in the 9th house of the astrology chart, this is a cycle in which there's a new beginning regarding your truth. Right? What cosmology do you believe in? How does it validate you? How do you feel validated in that process? Okay? So if you've got Mars and Venus landing in your 10th house, this is a potential new career for you. A new life direction, a new sense of, how do I define myself? With Mars and Venus in the 11th house, right, with this new phase conjunction taking place, if you have it landed in your 11th house in your natal chart, this is a new evolutionary cycle regarding the way that you value your friends. What types of people that you want to associate with? How do you align yourself with like-minded people that can support you? And finally, when we have Mars and Venus in the 12th house in this new phase relationship, what is the deepest essence of your being? Like, what do you find the ultimate meaning in? And how is this new phase relationship between Mars and Venus really aligning you with finding or experiencing that? So a big part of this current chart right now is intensely focused on this new Mars and Venus energy, which can be very overwhelming. And I know for myself personally, over the last like 3 or 4 days, as this full moon took place, like loads of people have contacted me, just like really, really feeling this energy intensely. And you know, it's funny because I've had to actually understand my own relationship to myself and how what I'm able to take on board and what I'm able to actually, how I can look after myself, and it's been a really interesting dynamic that's occurred for me, particularly with this new phase relationship. But loads and loads of people have coming through. So, you know, if you're feeling a little under the weather at this stage, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling a sense of like, oh my God, what is going on? You know, my energies are just pulling me all over the place. This is what this new phase energy is like. It's incredibly, like there is no future, there is no path laid out, there's just deep uncertainty, and so that invites an essence of surrender. So this chart is a lot about surrender. It's a lot about allowing whatever is like coming to you and how you're feeling a new relationship to it occur. How can you find yourself interacting with these new directions? And through this process, just allow for natural states of new beginnings to arise versus trying to mentally maybe figure it out, as an example. So trying new things out would be a really great way. This is an awesome way to really connect with this energy and feel fresh in actualizing a new direction. Okay? So this is something with Jupiter at the end of degree. I mean, Jupiter's at 29 degrees Libra. It's just about to finish it. It's not a coincidence, again, that Jupiter's at the final degrees of Libra. Mars and Venus create an entirely new relationship to themselves. Pluto goes direct. I mean, lots of activity. And what we have here is this whole entire cycle of regeneration, new potential, new directions, new relationships to self, new relationships to others, and finding your ability to really connect with that process and say, okay, when Jupiter goes into Scorpio, how are we going to commit? How are we going to get deep into this process? How is this metamorphosis going to occur for us within our lives? And you'll watch it. You'll watch how this metamorphosis will begin to occur, because the planet that actually rules the Saturn energy over here is Jupiter. So as Jupiter moves into Scorpio in the 8th house, right, this energy of Scorpio, it's going to begin to metamorphosize the nature of the truth and cosmologies that we all feel committed to at this stage. So our entire philosophy is now going to come online with this new phase relationship, allowing us to then establish and layer new cycles of like definition that are rooted in new ways of being, new cycles of belief systems and cosmologies that we feel more aligned with ourselves. And as this begins to occur, you'll start to notice that these nodes, which are Leo Aquarius at this stage, will begin to integrate more authenticity. So it is about authentic expression. It is about an alignment within this process. So lots going on, lots and lots, multiple layers just all over the place, materializing in different ways. So insane. Okay, so I wanted to share with everybody that's the chart of the day for today, and I'm hoping to get some more out during this week. Like I said, I've got lots and lots of like work coming my way, which I'm so happy about, because it really gives me an opportunity to show how this astrology can really help us process this reality. So I wanted to just announce to everybody that today, in about 45 minutes from now, there's a link in the description. I know it's short notice, but and you don't have to join today, but I have started a new Purpose Fulfilled workshop. And this Purpose Fulfilled workshop is designed specifically to help you understand what is the context of the nodes in your chart, what is the context of Uranus in your chart, and the Sun, and how those symbols collectively are actually activating your purpose and the alignment of true authentic expression. So this is a teaching on the Sun through the houses, the Uranus through the houses, the nodes through the houses. It's a 3-week process on teaching, and then we spend another 2 weeks or 2 sessions doing lots and lots of chart work, where I actually show you how to apply this to your own life, and you can apply it to other people's charts as well, so that you can actually spread this knowledge and give yourself the potential to also help others during this process. So that's the Purpose Fulfilled workshop. And if you want to join that, in the description below, in the comments below, is a link to join. And that's going to be starting, like I said, within about 45 minutes from now. And of course, if you're watching this after the fact, just send me an email, just say I'm interested in it, or book it directly, and I'd be happy to send you the recordings from the first class, so that you can catch up and then continue every single Sunday with me. Other than that, next week Sunday there's a foundation class astrology. Like I was saying to a lot of people, if you're interested in studying astrology with me right now, I have this class available, and we will be beginning with Aries, Taurus and Gemini next week, as well as learning how this actually manifests, these archetypes manifest in your life. So if you've got questions around that, or you're super curious about it, email me again, or you can directly get yourself connected and join in next week, Sunday, for this foundation course by just signing up, okay? And again, in the comments in the description, I'll send all this information. All right? Okay, everyone. Before I go, thank you so much for your time and attention. I truly hope that this gave you some information. And write in the comments below if you want, share your thoughts and experiences and stuff. I'd be happy to always listen to that. But other than that, have a good day. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.